everyone. Welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch The Great Muppet Caper 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
And I am your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And joining us today, we have a first-time guest. Who are you, first-time guest?
My name is Ethan. I am Anthony's nephew.
This person is my nephew. And what are you, 14 years old?
Yep.
14 right now. So you're the youngest guest we've had on the show other than your cousin Iris, I suppose.
Yes. By several years, I would think.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm really excited, not just because you're my nephew, but also just to get the youth perspective.
Yes, we don't know what young people think about Muppet movies or movies in general.
Yeah. Right. I think that oldsters, 30-something oldsters, such as Ryan and myself, think of Muppets are for old people now.
Maybe.
So it's always made me happy that you're so into it. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for coming on, man.
Yeah.
So today we are looking at minutes 45 and 46 of The Great Muppet Caper. In these minutes, we see various goings-on at the Dubonnet Club. Gonzo continues to take pictures of patrons, Kermit and Piggy dance, and Lady Holiday argues with her brother Nicky. So that's actually where we start, is with Lady Holiday and Nicky, continuing from last week, where he didn't want to give a tip to the maitre d'. We just hear him say that he left his wallet at home, and Lady Holiday says, "You left your wallet in college."
That's a great joke.
It's such a great joke, and it's such a specific thing. You know, you lost your wallet years ago or something would not be funny.
Well, yeah, it kind of is dependent on their brother-sister dynamic.
Right. And I like the idea that Nicky hasn't paid for anything since he was in college.
Yeah, might be true. Well, we know that he squandered his inheritance, right?
Right. So he blew through his fortune as a young man.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, Charles Grodin was 46 at this time.
Right.
So his college was a while ago.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually had the opportunity to use this line recently. I was going through a fast food drive-thru with my wife and my sister, and they both suddenly realized that neither of them had their wallets on them. And I said, "You left your wallet in college."
Did anybody get it?
No, but my loved ones tolerate my Muppet nerdery and nerdery in general, so I explained it.
So they were just like, "There goes Ryan again."
Yes,
quoting movie.
Must be from some Muppet movie or comic book thing. Yeah.
So, anyways, here's a question I wanted to ask you guys. Are either of you surprised that Nicky Holiday went to college?
Oh,
sort of.
I mean, he's a rich kid, I guess. He probably, similar to the recent college admission scandal.
Yes.
He probably paid his way in.
Yes, it was probably expected that he would go, and then his parents probably had a lot to do with getting him in and making sure that he graduated. But
did he graduate, or did he just lose his wallet?
He could do both.
That's what we do.
Yeah, somewhere there may be the Holiday building at some prestigious British university that they made some big donation, and under the table they were like, "Okay, just make sure Nicky graduates."
Right. They were like, "Make sure that our American son graduates
right
from college."
Or he was a college dropout, and ever since has just been tagging along with his sister.
Yeah, that's more likely.
You do kind of get that sense from them, yeah.
But we're going to come back to them in a little while.
Oh, but one thing I wanted to mention that reminded me, we never learned Lady Holiday's first name, and that also means that her own brother never calls her by her first name.
I don't think he addresses her by name at all. He doesn't call her Lady Holiday either.
No, that's probably true, because maybe they just didn't want her to have a first name, so they thought it would be awkward for him to call her Lady Holiday.
Yeah.
I guess he could call her Sis.
Sis, or Hey Kid, or...
Yeah.
I don't think he ever really addresses her even in the movie.
No, he doesn't. I don't
think so.
He just breathes down her neck.
Right.
As we will see.
We'll get to that.
But after that, we cut away and we see what the Muppets are up to. Starting with Gonzo, who we saw last week was starting to take souvenir photos of patrons. And he approaches an older man and a younger woman. And he says, take a picture. And they say no. And he says, "It'll be a great memento for you and your wife." And of course, the guy says, "My wife isn't feeling very well." Gonzo says she should be at home. And the guy says, "My wife is at home."
Ooh.
Now, what I love about this is how Gonzo reacts to it.
Yeah.
which Ethan, I believe you wrote it down phonetically.
Yep, he exactly says, "Hubba adaba, yes, adaba, next table."
I'm glad you wrote that down.
Which, what I love about it is that, like, I think Gonzo kind of needs to be shocked for this joke to be in a Muppet movie.
Yeah, like it has to be like, oh, this is not okay. But it's funny, but it's not okay.
Right. We can't have Gonzo be like, yeah, man, you did it. Like, good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, and it's a joke that I'm sure did not get when I was a kid watching this movie. I don't know when I first understood what it meant, and I wonder if I ever asked my parents what it meant and how they would have reacted. I don't know. I should ask them.
Right. You were just like, so this must be his nurse. She's
maybe, or maybe this is just his friend.
Yeah, he's just out with a friend.
Yeah,
that's what you do. But yeah, so that. Anything else about Gonzo? Either of you?
Not specifically about Gonzo.
Okay. Well, Ryan. So who's this guy?
Yeah, so this is a mildly interesting thing, maybe more so to the most hardcore Muppet nerds who have seen this a million times. But there was a time when we in the Muppet fan community, and I think especially the folks who regularly edit Muppet Wiki, realized that we didn't know this actor's name. He's not in the credits, even though he has a couple lines. There was somebody added a name to IMDb, but then it wasn't. It turned out not to actually be him. So it was just, not a big burning question or huge mystery, but we were just curious, who is this guy? And a few years ago, our friend Andrew Leal, who is one of the most active editors at Muppet Wiki, I don't know how he did it, but he tracked this guy down. His name is Reg Thomason. And he had a long career as an actor in British film and television, and he was very often an extra. So he would play these kinds of snooty characters or upper crust type characters, and he definitely looks the part. So Reg Thomason, everyone.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't get more British of a name than Reg Thomason.
Exactly.
So, and another thing that the wiki list that I think is interesting is he also plays a dinner guest in Monty Python's Meaning of Life, the fall or a couple years later, 1983. So those are probably the two things that comedy fans would see him in. Really notice him from.
Yeah, I haven't seen Meaning of Life in a while. I should watch that again.
Oh, you should. It's a real treat. Even Tiger for a cup of it, to real meat.
Even what?
It's a line from the movie.
I vaguely remember that.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So Meaning of Life is good, Ryan. You should go watch it right after we finish recording.
Okay.
But so after Gonzo, we get to really the heart of the scene, which is Kermit and Piggy sharing their first dance together, which I think is just lovely. I think
it continues the two of them being very adorable.
Yeah, well, and I like that we start out with Piggy enthusiastically saying, "That caviar was yummy. Ah, love those fish eggs." Because it's such a Piggy thing to be talking about the meal, like during the dance, I think.
Yeah, and she's supposed to be Lady Holiday, but really she's just so fascinated and thrilled by being a part of this scene.
Like the dance, you mean like this kind of like
to be in this fancy club, a place that serves caviar. She's just having a great time.
Yeah. Well, and of course, Stepping Out with the Star is playing.
Yeah,
as they dance here, which I think is great. I love how often this movie goes back to Stepping Out with the Star.
It's a great song.
But also, like, did either of you guys feel like that Miss Piggy's caviar, love those fish eggs, that almost feels like the setup for a Muppet Show at the dance joke? Like, it's right away when we cut to them, it feels for a second like we're going to do at the dance.
It could be. I wonder if they ever considered doing those kinds of gags in the scene.
Right. I mean, the tone here is very different.
Yeah.
Like it's not... But just there's something about like, I love those fish. You can imagine a joke on the Muppet Show where it's like, boy, we had caviar and I love those fish eggs. And then the other person responds with...
Or a Muppet fish pops up and says something like, I beg your pardon.
Right. Yeah. But obviously this movie doesn't have that kind of tone, especially here. But
yeah, this is not the time for it.
Still, when I see two Muppets dancing together,
I
can't help but think of at the dance.
Sure. I was also wondering, speaking of them dancing, how they So this set looks, well, I don't really know. It looks like these human dancers are just dancing on the floor of the set. But then you have Kermit and Piggy, which either means there's a hole dug in the set for Jim Henson and Frank Oz to stick their arms up through, or they might be like tangled together on a dolly being pushed around the floor.
Right, which seems very probable to me.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know. I mean, I guess there could be a removable floor.
Yeah, I don't remember how much of the floor we see in this club.
So I just looked at Jim Henson, The Works. I have it open in front of me right here. And at the start of the Great Muppet Caper section of that book, we see a wide shot of all of the dancers with Miss Piggy in front of them during the number that's coming up here. And you cannot see... Well, do you see Frank down there?
No, but it looks like that there's two separate levels.
Yeah, I think that probably Frank is under the floor.
Is it a behind-the-scenes shot?
Well, no, but it's like a wide shot. Like
I see.
Can see.
Like off stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on page 130 in Jim Henson The Works. So listeners, pull out your copy and you can see what I'm talking about.
Yes.
There's probably a hole in the floor. Hole in the floor would be my guess.
Then that's a good guess. I'll go along with that.
But anyways, getting back to Kermit and Piggy's chemistry here. I was going to say, Piggy says a very Piggy line, which is when Kermit brings up the jewel robbery. Her response is to deflect the question immediately. She says, I don't want to talk business. Music is in the air. The night is young, and I'm so beautiful. Yep. That's like calling herself beautiful is a very Piggy line, but there's like a very real difference between here and on The Muppet Show, I think. Again, like the way that she says I'm so beautiful here is with that like girlish giggle that she does sometimes, you know, that high girlish voice.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like there are versions of Miss Piggy where she would have been like, trying to get Kermit to dance with her, right? When he doesn't have any interest. And she'd just be like, music in the air, the night is young, and I'm so beautiful, right? She would do that like aggressive, growly voice.
Yeah.
And the fact that she doesn't is what makes her appealing here.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say she's so much more appealing in this mode.
Yeah, and I think that's intentional. Like we've talked about, Piggy is the romantic heroine here.
We have to root for her and find her appealing for the whole movie.
Right. I always love Miss Piggy. On The Muppet Show, she was often written to be comedically off-putting.
Right.
And they don't do that here at all. You know?
I guess not.
I think she's adorable in this. She's so great. I think I've called Piggy adorable in this movie like 5 times.
Yeah, I've described the two of them as a couple as adorable many, many times.
Yeah.
Sort of like Miss Piggy has two modes. There's the Muppet Show mode, and then there's the movie mode.
And it's not just this movie, you mean? Like there's...
Yeah, like in the original Muppet movie, she's more happy.
Yeah, that's true. I think part of it is you just can't do it for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, like you get really sick of Miss Piggy if she's just being a diva all the time, you know?
Right,
like,
we have to like her.
Yeah. So anyways, so then after she says all that stuff about being herself being beautiful, then she responds about the jewel robbery.
And what is her response?
What jewel robbery?
Right. She doesn't even know.
She doesn't know
what he's talking about.
And I think that kind of makes sense, though, that Piggy, a fan of Lady Holiday's work, like she doesn't care. She doesn't read the society pages. She just wants to be a model. She only cares about Lady Holiday as an aspirational figure. Like she's not reading the newspaper. I buy that.
I also find it ironic that everybody else knows about it, including the other Muppets that are in this scene. That basically she is the only Muppet in this scene that does not know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. And she's supposed to be Lady Holiday.
And and she works for her also. Like,
right.
But also remind me, doesn't Lady Holiday mention it in the earlier scene in her office? No, she just says that Nikki might steal the baseball bat. She doesn't mention anything about the earlier robbery.
Yeah, I don't think she mentioned that. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, Piggy doesn't know it. She just tells Kermit that he has lovely eyes.
Right. He does have lovely eyes. They're like, two halves of a ping pong ball glued onto a green sock.
But I love that he does that gulp and does that take to the camera. Like, he doesn't quite look into the camera here after she says that, but it's so close.
Well, they're also sort of swinging around as they dance, so he kind of gets to just slightly take toward the camera.
Right. But it feels like he's just about to look directly into it, and then it cuts away.
Yeah.
And what does it cut away to?
Well, hold on, though.
Okay.
Do you remember Reg Thomason?
Yeah, sure. I remember it.
In the previous shot, we just saw his character, out to dinner at the Dubani Club with a woman who's not his wife. And in this, the very next shot, this is something that our friend and fellow Tough Pig, Joe Hennis, noticed a couple years ago. In this very next shot, he is dancing in the background behind Kermit and Piggy with a different woman.
He is a serial philanderer. He can't even have one date per night. He's like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, and not only that, but he got to the dance floor. Assuming this is unfolding in real time, he got to the dance floor super fast to dance with this other woman who's not his date and also not his wife.
Yeah, or maybe like Kermit and Fozzie, they're identical twins.
Maybe. I don't know if Joe considered that possibility, but I certainly hadn't. But interesting.
One never knows how many identical twins there are.
Yeah.
They should have made a movie about him, though, having two dates at the same time.
I wish they had. I really. Or if this had come out in the era of DVD, that would have been a special feature, like a short film.
Do it like Doug's special mission on Up or whatever.
Sure.
You should watch that. It's good. Yeah. So, anyways, then we do cut away. We cut away from old Reg Thomason. We leave him be for a while. We'll be back to his adventures on the DVD extras.
Yes.
In which Pepe interviews Reg Thomason.
I wish. Boy, do
that
I
would
wish.
be amazing.
Well, they used to do DVD extras where Pepe would interview one of the Muppets. And
what was that called? Inside
Pepe's studio.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
They didn't do like Inside the Crustacean studio or?
No, they would have been Inside the King Prawn studio.
Right.
No, it's Inside Pepe's studio. And my main memory of it is on the DVD for It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie. He shows old pictures of Kirk Thatcher and makes fun of him for his hair and outfits.
Well, that's pretty good.
It's really funny. Yeah. Like there weren't a lot of highlights in those, but that was pretty good. Anyways, so who do we see? We don't see Pepe, who's not in this movie. We do see Fozzie Bear, who is sitting by himself, pouring sugar into a glass of champagne. Which, okay, so Fozzie wanted to come on this date so bad. He guilted Kermit into taking him along on a date, right?
Right.
They make such a big deal about it. And now what's he doing? Kermit is off dancing with Miss Piggy, and Fozzie is shoveling sugar into a glass by himself. And then he turns around to a complete stranger and says, "You put enough sugar in this stuff, it tastes just like ginger ale." Because he can't say it to his friends because they're busy and he's not.
He's just sitting at the table.
It's actually really sad in a way.
Sort of makes you think, how many of those has he had?
How many champagnes has Fozzie had? So do you think this scene would be funnier if we saw a drunk Fozzie Bear?
No, I'm just saying, like, how many has he had?
Right.
I think drunk Fozzie Bear could be funny. I don't know that I would want to see I guess we kind of did on the Muppets ABC series. I don't know if I would want to see every Muppet what they're like when they're drunk. But
we not only saw them drunk on that show, we saw them all hungover.
Yeah. But Fozzie could be a funny drunk. I don't know. Maybe he would actually be a funnier comedian when he's drunk.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know, man. We'll see. We won't see. What do I mean?
We won't see.
I just imagine a drunk Fozzie Bear, just like Fozzie Bear doing his jokes but all slurred.
Yeah, right.
Maybe,
I mean, that's the thing. You think he's an even worse comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Statler and Waldorf would love that.
They'd certainly make fun of him about it.
Yeah, it would give him another reason to insult him.
Yeah. So
have you ever tried putting sugar in champagne to see if it tastes like ginger ale?
I have not.
I considered trying it for this, but then I remembered I don't like champagne and I don't like ginger ale. So
I do think about this like every time I've ever been in the vicinity of champagne, which is not something I do often. But like you mentioned talking about you lost your wallet in college. I'll just be like, "Oh, I'm putting enough sugar in here," and who's ever near me will be like, "That's nothing."
Yeah. That's what we do. That's how we live our lives.
Right. That's why we have to have a podcast about it.
Exactly.
All right. So then, finally, at long last, we come back around to Lady Holiday and her brother Nicky, and Stanley the Maitre d'. Our old friend Stanley the Maitre d' is with them.
Yeah.
He's
waiting for his tip.
He's waiting for his tip, and the first thing we see is Nicky saying, "Catch you later, Stanley," because he's not going to give him a tip. Which I don't know that I ever thought about that until like just now.
Yeah.
That
And
which is it's a very funny joke.
yes. And I don't remember this actor's name who plays Stanley, who actually, I think he just passed away maybe in the last year or two.
Yeah, we talked about him when he showed up in the first place. And his name...
That was probably last week for all our listeners, but
probably, yeah.
Here's a little peek behind the curtain. It was a lot longer ago for us.
Yeah, that actor's name is Peter Hughes once again. And yes, he did die just this spring.
Okay. So he gives a great, just little, very brief, wordless performance there. You can just see by the way he pivots and walks away from the table how offended he is.
Well, he wants that tip.
Of course he does. The holidays have a lot of money.
Yeah, they have a fortune, and he gets paid a small amount to be a maitre d' at a fancy supper club.
Right.
You think that's where the money is going? To the waiter and the maitre d'?
No, it's to pay for that mirror ball chandelier thing and the band and who knows what else.
Right.
For those fancy pineapple desserts that Jim Henson and his date were eating. Amy Van Gelder.
Amy Van Gelder, yeah. So anyways, Stanley leaves. Lady Holiday talks about how she shouldn't have left her jewels at home because she feels as if thieves were breathing down her neck. And her brother Nicky, not only does Nicky say thieves aren't breathing down your neck, I love the way Charles Grodin does this so much, which is that he leans in, gets louder, and smiles.
Yeah.
As he says, thieves aren't breathing down your neck. And he looks so pleased with himself that
he's literally breathing down her neck.
Right. Well, right, exactly, of course. But he knows he's going to rob her in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Spoiler for those who haven't seen this movie. He's going to rob her in a few minutes. And he looks so pleased with himself for being like, I'm making a joke about the fact that I robbed my own.
She doesn't even know. Yeah. Thieves aren't breathing down your neck. I just had to do it out loud.
Yeah. Charles Grodin, man. He's a treasure.
Yes.
Also, the entire time he's doing this little dance. He's just shaking his arms around, just dancing around the table the entire time.
Yeah, he's doing the dance the whole time. Even when I just said it out loud, thieves aren't breathing down your neck, I was doing the dance.
Yeah, it's just I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, just kind of bobbing around. His arms are out. I love his little dance.
Happy dance.
Yes, yeah, he's happy. Sure,
he's happy because he's about to get that necklace.
Yeah, but he continues this dance for the rest of this scene until we see him disappear.
Yeah. But even in a couple of seconds here, he's going to walk away.
Right.
Theoretically, go tip Stanley. And he does the dance the whole way out.
Yeah, exactly.
He's moving his legs, he's shaking his shoulders.
Up the steps.
Here's the thing. If he left his wallet in college, why is she still making him do the tip?
I think she's paying for this meal, right?
Yeah,
she has to be.
So if he doesn't tip, it reflects poorly on her. So probably she has given him money. She's paying for the whole meal. She pays for everything. She pays for his floral socks.
She probably just gave him a little bit of money just to give to him.
Yeah, it's part of his allowance.
Right.
Probably just pocketed it all.
Probably did. But yeah, so again, she says that she wants to put the jewels in a safe. And that's what he's going to go talk to Stanley about. And right away, Nicky says, no. I mean, yes. Why would I say no when I mean yes?
Yep.
Which again, I think Charles Grodin, it's like we talked about. It takes so long for him to show up in this movie, and once he does, he just owns the screen.
Oh, he does, yes, completely.
It's just so much fun to see him. I'm so glad he's here now.
Also, that line I didn't have time to actually track this down and watch it to confirm, but somewhere on the special features for the Fraggle Rock complete series DVD set, Michael Frith mentions that line was part of the inspiration for the character of Wembley.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that sort of why would I say yes when I meant no, or why would I say no when I meant yes? That was sort of inspired Wembley's indecisive-ness.
So let me ask you a question: would you like this movie more if Wembley Fraggle played Nicky Holiday?
I don't think
that would be pretty funny.
I don't know if I could buy Wembley as being so malicious, so sneaky.
He'd be a much sweeter Nicky Holiday. He'd be a lot more sympathetic.
Yeah, you'd be rooting for him to steal that baseball diamond.
Yeah, I'd be on his team.
Yeah.
He would probably end up saying that he was going to do it right before he did it.
And then
he would tell everyone.
Yeah, Wembley would steal the fabulous baseball diamond, and then Steve Whitmire would steal Kermit from Jim Henson. Oh man, classic. Love those Whitmire jokes. And then, but so we're not quite to the end here. He gets up theoretically to go tip. He's dancing away, like we said. Charles Grodin, just having a good time.
His little boogie.
And once he gets out of Lady Holiday's sight, he turns and goes not to the maitre d' stand.
What?
But through a door to a back room where he's about to open another door and probably do something nefarious.
And we get a good view of his socks.
His flowered socks, yeah.
We do. That's kind of the first time we really see the flowered socks in all their glory.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Real.
I wanted to note in the script when he's unlocking that back door, it notes that he tapes the lock shut Watergate fashion.
I don't really know what that means.
Well, it's so when the Nixon's goons, whoever they were, Richard Nixon's people that he sent to. Okay, so now I'm going to show the limits of my knowledge about Watergate. When they broke into the Democratic Party offices in the Watergate Hotel, for some reason they taped a lock shut. Like they taped the door so that they would be able to get back in later.
Oh,
like they
really?
put a piece of tape. When you turn a door handle and that little thingy pops out? So they put tape over that so the door would remain unlocked and open so they could come back in. It was actually because a security guard noticed that was kind of the beginning of the whole thing unraveling when they got caught.
Huh.
So I guess Watergate was still fresh enough in everyone's mind in 1980 when the script was written that they would have made the note that they taped the lock shut Watergate fashion.
And does he do that? Do we see him do that?
No, I don't think we actually see him put tape on it. He just unlocks it and kind of props it open.
Right. So what do we think he's doing? Why? I mean, we've never seen this. So what do we think?
If we're seeing it for the first time?
Yeah, what do we think Nikki Holiday is going to do back there?
Well, he's up to no good.
I think he's getting... Well, we know that he bought a gross of flowered socks.
Yes.
And we know that he's wearing some. He brought some for everybody. He's going to have like a home party.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like multi-level marketing.
Yeah. Someone's going to come in and he's going to say, you get flowered socks. You get flowered socks. You get flowered socks.
No, he has to sell them like at a Tupperware party.
Oh, I see. He's not giving them away as free samples.
Yeah, so he's going to try to get everyone to buy his stock, or else he'll lose money on the endeavor.
Yeah,
that's my theory. We'll see next week.
That's a great theory. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm selling flowered socks to raise money for my basketball team.
And then he pulls up his pants and he shows and he does his little dance and everyone. Yeah. It's gonna be so good. Come back next week to hear about that on Moving Right Along. No, but that does bring us down to the end of these minutes. Do you have any other thoughts you wanted to share on these minutes? Ethan, I will start with you, sir.
Yes, actually, something that took me a little while to notice is that right before the Major D leaves, he takes off the little reserve sign, and we don't see any of the other tables that happening.
So you think that they had the only reservation in the house?
I don't know.
Huh, neat.
Well, they're very important.
Yeah.
I guess so.
The Holidays own this town, man. He was on the cover of every newspaper except the Daily Chronicle.
That's true. And those were presumably American newspapers. So, yeah, their influence extends around the world.
Also, if you look at how neat all the tables are, and then you look at Fozzie's table, which is like a complete mess.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't notice that. Well, he's probably spilling sugar all over. He's just like, I mean, first of all, Fozzie Bear is not the cleanest bear. And he's just picking up a spoon and shaking it around like a wild man to get some sugar in there, to get enough sugar so it tastes like ginger ale. Because it's not just that you put a little sugar. If you put enough sugar, it's going to taste
so
like
what is enough? Because if you look at it, it's like just clouding up the entire thing. So what does enough mean?
It's mostly sugar at this point.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, Ryan, anything else? Any other thoughts?
I had another... Here it is. I had another thing from the July 22nd, 1980 draft of the screenplay. When Kermit and Piggy are dancing, there's a gag where... I didn't write it all down, but they talk about, like, they're dancing like Fred and Ginger, referring to Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers and all those old classic musicals. And then Kermit says something to the effect of, yeah, but Fred usually led because Miss Piggy is leading in this dance. And then it cuts to a shot of Kermit's feet, which are dangling above the floor because Piggy is carrying him around the dance floor, which is really funny. We've referred before to the fact that they never really address the height disparity between the Muppet characters. So maybe they didn't want to kind of shine a light on that, but that would have been fun to see.
Right, because Fozzie should be much, much taller than Gonzo, for example.
Yes, exactly.
But they're always the same. They're always, like, eye level is basically the same.
Right, so when Kermit and Piggy are ballroom dancing, she must be just carrying him around the dance floor.
Right, which is pretty funny. But I'm glad they didn't do it.
Yeah, I can understand why they didn't, but it would have been funny. And that's all I have.
One more thing that I forgot to mention about Fozzie's drink is that they actually dip the puppet's mouth into the drink a little bit, but then whenever he pulls it back out, it sort of has the consistency of slime whenever it sticks to his lip.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, if it's champagne with a bunch of sugar in it, like slime would make sense. But yeah,
you're right. He does get champagne on his top lip. I wonder. I mean, obviously it's not really champagne, but it does look like sugar. So I wonder what's actually in that glass that he's putting on his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just glue or something.
Yeah.
Probably just some bear glue.
Something that they could easily wipe off.
Yeah, right. They weren't going to build a whole new Fozzie.
Right.
Just to get ginger ale champagne on him.
Yeah.
Something they could steam clean out of him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love that guy.
Me too.
All right. Well, then I think that brings us down to the end of the minutes. But Ethan, before we go, you're a listener to the podcast.
Yeah.
So we usually like to ask our guests, where does The Great Muppet Caper rank for you among your favorite Muppet movies, and kind of like what's your history with this particular movie and with the Muppets in general?
Yeah, so probably my two favorite Muppet movies are Muppets Most Wanted and Great Muppet Caper.
Good choices.
I believe one of the first times that I saw Muppet movies was whenever I was 7 and went to go and see the Muppet movie.
No, we went to see The Muppets.
Oh, yeah, whoopsies. The Muppets. And then that I was obsessed with Uncle Deadly after that for a while.
It's true. I actually bought Ethan a Palisades Uncle Deadly.
Oh, nice.
For his birthday one year.
That movie was kind of a comeback for him.
Yeah.
For Uncle Deadly.
Right. So you're...
And Bobo.
And Bobo, yeah. Yeah. Although Bobo's much newer, he got to do Muppets from Space.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, like on air, you're probably going to be one of the very few people who we have on who says Muppets Most Wanted is a favorite.
Yeah.
So why? I mean, I love Muppets Most Wanted. I think it's great. I would love to hear you talk more about why that's your other favorite.
Yeah.
Well, the main reason is probably because of Constantine. I really like Constantine. I honestly don't know why. I just think he's really funny. And the fact, his little, kind of violent humor, I think is kind of funny. Like, at the beginning where he's just, knocking out all the guards by doing, backflips. And then you can just, see the puppet shadow, doing a backflip or something like that. I find that very amusing.
Yeah, I think Constantine was a great character and very funny. And I think it kind of says a lot that he was a new character. And they got to kind of make up a lot of stuff about his personality and what kind of jokes he would do and wouldn't do. Whereas with some of the classic characters, I think the writers and maybe the Disney people are a little bit afraid to explore new things or have the characters do things because it's I don't know if Kermit would do that. But with a new character like Constantine, it doesn't matter. You can't say I don't think Constantine would do that because he's never done anything before. So they were free to just do whatever they wanted to.
Yeah, but the thing is that my guess would be they were probably worried a little bit about maybe making him too violent.
Maybe, because the movie's still rated PG, right?
Yeah, that would be probably their main concern with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he is good. I enjoy him.
Yeah.
So then why Great Muppet Caper too, if those are your two favorites?
Well, Great Muppet Caper, my favorite part comes up at the end, spoiler alert, whenever they're playing baseball with the diamond.
Isn't that great?
And that has probably been one of my most memorable Muppet moments.
Yeah.
Is seeing that for the first time.
Well, and I think this whole movie just has that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Where it's just like weird stuff happens all the time and you just kind of roll with it. It's great. It's so good.
Yeah, there's that thing that was, I think it was just like a notepad page that of Jim Henson's that was printed on the Jim's Red Book blog, where he was just writing some very vague notes about what the movie he wanted to make before they started, and it was just like fun, joyous, a positive attitude toward life. So I think all that kind of stuff comes out in the final movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Well, that's it for today. So listeners, please check out toughpigs.com on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can find us. And if you're so inclined, please give us a positive review on iTunes. You can follow me on Twitter at ZeppoMarxist. You can follow Ryan at @MeRyanRowe. Ethan, where, if anywhere, can our listeners find you on the line?
Probably not really anywhere. Basically, if you just have any questions, ask Anthony, and then he'll ask me.
That is true. All right. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
It was a pleasure for me. And listeners, remember to tell all of your friends about the show. And join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
These aren't breathing down your